welcome to Zero Cool Gaming and today's game review. Today we're going to be reviewing the game Doom 2016. Now Doom 2016 is a return to form for ID Software. The original Doom games, Doom 1, Doom 2, Final Doom, Doom Collection, all of these games were, as far as I'm concerned, action first-person shooters. Then you had Doom 3, which was a horror first-person shooter. And then Doom 2016 is another action first-person shooter. I enjoy the action FPS Doom gameplay, or game style, over the horror Doom gameplay, or play style. Because I don't like horror games. I don't like horror movies either. I did play Doom 20, or not 20, but I did play Doom 3, and it took me like 4 years to complete that game. Because it was a horror game, and I really dislike horror, but I do like Doom games. I like the theme of Doom. I just didn't particularly like the gameplay of Doom 3. But the theme of being a space marine going out there and fighting an entire army of demons, that's a cool theme for me. I enjoy that. That's a good universe as far as I'm concerned. That's something fun to do. And Doom 2016 is fun to do. I mean, you can set it on easy, and it's pretty easy to get through it. I've actually never beat the game. I played all the way to the Spider Mastermind on, I don't even know what difficulty I was on. I know I wasn't on easy. I don't know if I was on like the middle or the next one up from middle, but somewhere. But I died 5 or 6 times to the Spider Mastermind, and I just gave up. I was like, that's fine. I don't need to learn its pattern to beat it. It's a Doom game. I get the idea. I get the point. But I did enjoy the entire game. I mean, I played 99.9% of it, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. The whole game pretty much was fun. It, progressively got harder and harder as you went through it. Even though the environments themselves didn't really get more dynamic, they would at least fill them with more difficult enemies, and you would have to consider how you were going to take those enemies out. You would have to, identify primary targets and secondary targets and so on and so forth. And that, I enjoy that part of gameplay. I enjoy that type of gameplay with Doom games. That's been kind of a staple through the older games, all the way through all of them. And that's kind of the way Doom 2016 is. Of course, with 2016, they did take a little bit of a different approach. Usually you'll get locked into like an arena, and it'll start out with easier enemies, and then the next wave will be more difficult enemies, and then the next wave will be even more difficult enemies. And as you go through the game, the beginning waves of enemies continue to get more and more difficult, and of course the preceding waves thereafter will be more difficult as well. So, yes, very enjoyable game, enjoyable gameplay, well programmed, good game design. Game environments are varied enough to where you don't get lost. Or at the very least, you'll know that you're back where you used to be, and that you got turned around or you're going the wrong direction. So, I have no complaints about this game, truly. It's just a fun game. It's an enjoyable game. It's a Doom game. It's not meant to be in-depth or make you, question your existence. It's just meant to be something fun to play and enjoyable to return to and come back to and play over and over again. And Doom 2016 does fit that bill. It's a game that you can come back to and play over and over again. Is it a game that I'll go back to and play over and over again? Probably not. Just because there are other games similar to this that I enjoy more, that I'll go back to and play over and over again. But it's really, that's not a dig at the Doom 2016. It's truly not. It's just that there were a lot of other games made at that same time that provide the same type of gameplay with better stories to them. So I don't think that's a negative to the game itself. It's not like it needs more of a storyline to be enjoyable. It doesn't. But I would, yeah, I'll most likely play the other games around that time that were made with the more in-depth storylines, just because it is the same gameplay. It's the same type of gameplay loop in them. But yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing, but it's not a bad thing. So is 2016, Doom a fun game? Yes, it is. Is it something that I enjoyed playing? Yes, it was. Is it something that I would play again one day? Yes. I just need to have, good 5-10 years in between playthroughs. Um, and I have no doubt that I'll enjoy it, in 10 years, well, at this point, in another 5 years, just as much as I did when I first played through it. It's just that type of game that you can go back to and enjoy over and over just as much as you did the first time through it, as long as you give yourself enough time in between playthroughs. For some people that, could be a couple of years. For others that might be, 20 years. For me, that seems to be about 10 years for these type of games. So that's my review of Doom 2016, that it's a fun game, it's an enjoyable game, it's well designed, well programmed. It teaches you how to play it and how to get better at it. It's obvious that the designers and programmers knew what they were doing when they were developing this game. They had a focus. They stayed true to that focus and kept the game consistent all the way through it. And I like that. That's good programming as far as I'm concerned. So, yes, I enjoyed the game. I'd play it again, and I probably will play it again. So if you've never played Doom 2016, pick it up. I'm quite sure it's very cheap today. Probably $5-6, and it's a good way to waste 20-30 hours of your life. A lot of fun, lots of demons to kill. Good fun. Anyway, that's my rant for the day, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of yours.